the exhibit starts with lions. Lions is very much the end of my career. And I spent 2 years with lions, but not with lions, with specific lions, with the Vumbi pride. The Vumbi means dust in Swahili. And they have a territory that's not wanted by other lions. So that means they have a peaceful life. If you're a lion and you have a place that is wanted, like a junction of river, you have to fight all the time. Constantly, your children are being killed. Lions kill each other. That's what they do. So I used that idea to make a photo essay. And I spent 2 years. But now the technique became, the car. We established a car that was designed to photograph lions. We could sleep in it, we could shoot from every direction, I could get on the roof. And then we had a robot that could drive to the lions with 2 cameras, one for video and one for still. My assistant was shooting video and I was shooting still, but he was required to shoot exactly what I was shooting with the same lens that I was, so we could marry the two. Because by the time I came to lions, social media was very important. So not just for the printed page, but for everything else. So that's the story of this Vumbi pride for 2 years of their life. And the lead photo is a lion, not a lioness. There's 2 lions that protect them. And they're not part of the pride. They just get fed to protect them because they're protecting their cubs, their own cubs. So when you see the light in my photographs, it's invisible to me and invisible to the lions. They can't see the light. I can't see the light. I can only see through the sensor of my camera, and literally they are, in one photo they're just outside the car. But some way they don't care. We established a kind of a détente. And that's the story of the lions. And then you come to the tigers. And the tiger project I did in 1996 and 97. I call it the year of the tiger because it's what I photographed a year. And in that case, there's a photo of Sita carrying her cub. And what I wanted to show the world was the only way you get a wild tiger is the mother raising it and teaching it to avoid humans, to avoid things that are problems. That photo I made from the back of an elephant. I was scared, I was shaking, but it managed to be sharp because she was moving the cub from one position to another because she was afraid that the male tiger was going to come to kill them. So that establishes the essay. But then you come to Charger, the male tiger, jumping toward the camera. He's jumping into the lens. Well, I'm not there. I saw him jump from the back of an elephant. And then we put a camera there. Very hard to do. We put bolts in the roll and everything so we could have him jump right into the camera. In 3 months, I got one frame. And it's the only, there's not bad frames, there's not good frames, there's one frame, one picture. So, and it sums up wild, really. It's, you know, photographers often photograph wild animals, but they're not really wild. You know, if they're wild, you can't see them. It's that simple. So I found a way, using camera traps, to be accessing the wild. And I taught the camera to see the way that I see. So that, and then the rest of the Tiger project is perversion of tigers. You can see it. You know what I mean. In Thailand they use the bones, they sell them. Siegfried and Roy uses tigers in their show. There's a woman in Arkansas that has 40 tigers in her backyard because she's rescued them from. There's more tigers in Texas than there is in the wild. But my point was, they're not tigers. They're facsimile. They look the same, but they're not the same. So that's the Tiger Project. And then we come to Brutal Kinship. And it's a book I did in I think it was 1990, with Jane Goodall, about chimpanzees, is where the title comes from, Brutal Kinship. But it summed up an earlier part of my career where I was photographing apes. And apes you can habituate. Habituate means you see them every day, they see you, and you don't hurt them, and then you can be close. That's what habituation means. And that first picture of the gorilla I made in 1980. And it's a 1 second exposure and the gorilla moves. But it's always been my favorite picture of gorillas. I photographed them for 15 more years, but it became my favorite photograph. And then you continue. This is lowland gorillas, that's mountain gorillas. The lowland gorilla populates the whole forest of Congo and the lowlands. That's the gorilla we see in zoos. There are no mountain gorillas in zoos. And I photographed a silverback strutting. He was having a war with another silverback. And I had just arrived at a clearing, a small opening in the forest, where I was going to spend 3 months sitting. I had had hepatitis, really sick, and I thought that I could recover. My doctors had allowed me to come back to Africa. I thought I could sit and get stronger by just sitting every day. But I'm there alone. The Africans that take care of me and my assistant is 2 or 3 hours away, because if they come to the clearing, their smell and the fires scares everything away. So I lived by myself. And I made this photo the first day I was there, and I never made a better picture in the 3 months I was there. So it's really funny. Then you have orphan gorillas. And now you start to get into the brutality of man and what we do to them. And gorillas can be rehabilitated. They've made orphans and taught them to use the wild again. But once they've been around people, they're very dangerous. One gorilla that we rehabilitated, he went and killed a woman in the village, 20 miles. So it's never, born free is a fallacy. Once an animal is taken out of the wild, it's out of the wild. It might as well be in a zoo. It's unfortunate, but I try to speak in reality. It's not, my photography is not meant to be cute. It's meant to tell you the truth. And unfortunately, that's what happens. Then you have the chimpanzees seeing humans for the first time. So we're deep in a forest in the Congo, deep in. You have to cross 3 swamps. And there they see humans for the first time. And that's what that picture is about. They're looking curiously. And then we come to Jane Goodall. And she and I believe in the same things. And we're trying to tell a story. But I photographed her many times. But the iconic photograph is her leaning, and a captive chimpanzee in a zoo in Africa, in Brazzaville, is reaching toward her hair. But he could kill her. I mean, it's crazy what she did. And I saw her, I was photographing the chimpanzee in front of me, and I saw out of the corner of my eye that this was happening. So I turned and start walking toward it, and hoping that frame and the film doesn't run out, and then made this iconic photograph of her and the chimpanzee. But it means so much more than what is there. It means everything. And you continue with orphan chimpanzees, and basically brutal kinship continues. There's an orangutan in Las Vegas. Chimpanzees and hepatitis research, and it's a picture that people see and they think is so cute. They laugh, and then they read the caption. Well, they're in hepatitis research, but they're in the picture. There's 3 baby chimpanzees being pushed in a wheelbarrow. I made that photo in 1989. That woman is still there, taking care of chimpanzees. I found out the other day that she is still there, and she's now paid by a group to take care of chimpanzees. At that time, she was paid by a group to do experimentation on chimpanzees. And then you come to the elephants, which is earth to sky, and what that means is roots of heaven. And there's a French writer, Roman Gary, who wrote a book, La Racine du Sel. If you know it, you know what I'm talking about. It's something about the elephant being grounded to heaven. He got it. His title was perfect. And so when I started photographing elephants, I think first time was 1990. They were afraid of me. It was in Congo, and over years I came to elephants that could be photographed. So first I did camera traps and all that, and then I did killing of the elephants. And so, but by the time I was toward the end, I had run into Roman Gary's book, and I realized it's exactly what I wanted to say about elephants, because we see the apes, we think they're the closest to us, but the elephant is so smart, so sentient, and can predict the weather, and mourns the dead, and the little sister takes care of the little brother. It's like you're stunned when you watch elephants. And then the payoff, of course, is that we kill them for their tusk. We kill them for a useless thing to carve because of history, really, of people wanting to carve. And when there became a lot of money in China, we almost lost every elephant, because they pay for the carving, $75,000. They don't care that it came from an elephant. And so this is what I'm trying to say. It's wild and savage, but if we look closely, we can see ourselves somewhere.